Okay, the recording is starting. So let me go to the instructions quick.
Yeah, I've got mine up. So the first part where we had to like fill in the rest of the sales data,
Uh-huh.
that was easy.
Oh yeah, and I used that same like VLOOKUP that worked for everything.
Yeah, I used that's the only place did VLOOKUP the
Yep.
whole project.
Yeah, me too.
Only place I used it because otherwise it didn't work.
No, because I don't think we learned how to get like multiple like VLOOKUP only works for one row and we needed information for like multiple rows.
Right. And I mean, I even spent like an hour to 2 hours trying to figure out how to use VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP and
Yeah.
combine them and sum up. And I'm like, there's nothing. So I just did a sum if formula.
Okay.
And that's just because I know how to use that one in Excel. So I don't know that knows what I'm going to get on this, but it's just
I was looking through the instructions and it didn't say we specifically had to use VLOOKUP. Like the only place it talked about needing to use a formula is when it talked about the pie graphs. It said use an Excel function to count the number of homes. That's the only place it says specifically, and it doesn't even specify which one. So I don't think we can get marked off if we get the right.
Well, I made sure I had like a formula in each cell.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did a sum if, which makes a lot of sense because it's a sum formula, but then you can do an if parameter. So like for January on my sales data, I just highlighted the month, column, and then you highlight your January column. Right. So January is in that row, and then you highlight your net sales, and then it sums them all up. If it's January, it's going to sum up that number, and so it works perfectly.
Right.
But it's not a formula we've even learned yet. So
yeah,
it
works. I just I'm trying to remember. I was so frustrated with it last night. I spent like 2 hours just.
I know, and I feel bad because I didn't get going on this until today. So
what I did was I did make the three separate, like I just copied and pasted it at three separate places, and then what I did was, so like for the month one, I organized by like it was already organized by month, I think. So for net sales, I went over to the sales and I named those columns. Like I highlighted the columns and then I just named them January. And then I just brought it over. So, I was able to get the sales and the gross margin and the gross margin percent as well. So.
All right.
So it is what it is, I guess. But.
Yeah, it's done. But I spent 2 hours trying to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
We use the formula that we just learned. Like, if we only used it on the sales data, that's the only place it really even worked. So I thought, okay, I'm supposed to be looking this VLOOKUP thing all over the place, and
I know. Did you have any trouble getting your pie charts up?
I didn't have any problem doing my pie charts. I did a count if function, so the same thing. You count it as one if it's Idaho Falls, if it's Rigby, if it's Rexburg. So I did that, and I made a chart, and then I did the pie charts. So but I mean, honestly, it took me 6 hours to just try. I mean, what time is it now? I started this morning, I think at 10, and it's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, so
it's frustrating.
I mean, maybe he'll explain that there was an easy way to do it, but I mean.
Right, but I'm like taking all this time because I know Excel a little bit, but not great.
Yeah, same here.
I'm like researching. So you and I, like all of these people in the class, when they were introducing themselves on the discussion boards, like, yeah, I'm an expert. I'm like, I am a beginner. So you and me together.
I know. Yeah, I'd never taken.
I don't feel like I'm that much of a help, but.
Well, same here. I've never taken an Excel class before.
And see, I do a lot of business, and I do a lot of Excel, but I use pre-made Excel spreadsheets. I've never,
right.
I've never developed a spreadsheet on my own. So.
Right. So, I don't know. I guess we can ask him, if there's an easy way to do it. But going forward, I'm going to email him and ask him, is the mini project always going to be based off of things we learned that week? Because
right,
that's how I think it's supposed to be. So
yeah, and I mean, I know your schedule is crazy. My schedule is pretty good. If you want to just text me and say, hey, I'm going to start working on this now.
Okay.
Or just like text me the day before and say, I think I'm going to be working on this at this time at night. I can kind of, work my schedule around that. I'm going to work on it before, so we can kind of not both have to spend 5 hours trying to wrap our brains around it if we have something that we figure out.
For sure. And I don't think we only have to talk about questions we have on this video. Like if I have questions when I'm working on it, I'll just shoot you a text.
Yeah, you can shoot me a text too and say, hey, what have you found out about this or that? And
okay, yeah, I think that'll be better going forward.
Back and forth too.
That way we won't struggle on our own and then just tell each other about our struggles. So
exactly.
So for next week, let's work on it, and then we'll communicate over text.
You can just text me because I work, but where you're seeing this is my office and it's in my house, so I'm here all the time.
Right.
So unless I'm at Disneyland.
Sounds good.
So I'm pretty easy to get a hold of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You can post this and just let me know next week.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'll send this to you over email, and then we'll do better next week. Okay.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good rest of your weekend.
You too. Have fun at the temple.
Thanks. See you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.